I'm going to first go through a list of thank yous, then I'm going to go give some background on our son's name, which is Benjamin Jonah, or Dov Yonah. And then I'm going to say a few words about this week's Torah portion and how it connects to this event. Before I begin, I'd like to mention that recently a court in Europe banned this 1,000-year-old practice, which is so central to our tradition. There have also been recent attempts in this very country, in the San Francisco area, to ban male circumcision. Throughout Jewish history, there have been numerous efforts at eliminating this practice, which marks our eternal covenant with our Creator. We shall reflect on how fortunate we are to be in a country that values religious freedom and we should take nothing for granted. On to the thank yous. First, I would like to thank HaKadosh Baruch Hu for the many blessings He's provided my family. We are blessed with good health, livelihood, and to be surrounded by such wonderful family and friends. And Sharon and I are exceedingly grateful for these blessings. Second, I would like to thank Rabbi Seplowitz for coming here to collaborate with us to perform this mitzvah. Rabbi Seplowitz spent Shabbos with us almost 5 years ago, in a couple weeks 5 years ago, to serve as the Moil at Miles' bris. It is fantastic to have him here again today. It is always great to find a fellow member of the nation deep in opposition territory. Thanks so very much for being part of this simcha. Third, I would like to thank Rabbi Block, Morty, and the entire Kesher community for welcoming us with such open arms. This is a remarkable community. We are so glad we chose to make it our home here, and we look forward to sharing many simchas with all of you in the future. Fourth, we'd like to thank Megan Gormley, who's been a tremendous help to our family. Without her, our lives and house would be a mess. We are so happy that you are a part of our lives. Fifth, I would like to thank our family, who have always been there for us. It's great to be celebrating this event with all of you in good health. We are so happy that those from out of town can make it. We are particularly appreciative of Jesse, Charlie, and Ann, who are always there to provide an extra set of hands, run an errand, or spend time with our kids. We are so happy about the impact you have on our children's lives. Sixth, I would like to thank Miles and Mia, who are doing a great job of being older siblings to their little brother, helping whenever they can. I particularly wanted to mention Miles. When I came home from the hospital last Friday, right before Shabbos, having just found out that Sharon and the baby would need to stay in the hospital an hour, 2 hours before Shabbos, I was very upset. I told Miles that I was feeling sad and asked him if he could make me feel better. He asked me how he could do that, and I told him that he could make me feel better by helping me this weekend. And he helped me throughout the entire weekend, cleaning the house on Friday, listening to me on Saturday, and having good behavior throughout the weekend. He really stepped up. It gave me great confidence that he will be there for our family in the future when called upon. Finally, I would like to thank my wife Sharon, who went 37 weeks with this pregnancy, taking progesterone shots along the way to prolong it, and then gave birth without an epidural last week, all before beginning to nurse the child for who knows how long. For our anniversary this year, I found a card that read, "For my CEO, my Chief Everything Officer." This perfectly describes Sharon's role in my family and role in my and my family's life. She makes everything happen. All of the wonderful things that I see on a daily basis are a direct result of her vision, drive, and abilities. I can tell you what I'd be without her in my life, but such descriptions are not appropriate for this type of speech. So I will leave it by employing the words of Wilson, God only knows. On to the name, Benjamin Jonah, Dov Yonah. After Miles and Mia, the smart money on the male name pool was trending towards Mortimer. But after negotiations over a sponsorship deal, the 3M Corporation broke down. BJ's Wholesale Club came in with a last-minute offer. Yes, I've been waiting quite a long time to tell that joke. Benjamin Jonah's Hebrew name is Dov Yonah. In both Hebrew and in the English, he is named after Sharon's maternal grandfather, Benjamin Bartel, and my maternal grandmother, Phyllis Strong. Benjamin Bartel was a successful lawyer, serving as the chairman of the board for Alexander's, the lawyer for Andre Meyer, and eventually a partner of Lazard, instrumental in the establishment of the real estate practice, which he gave up to start his own law firm with my father-in-law. More importantly, he was an advocate for the Jewish community in New York, advising notable community leaders, including Senator Jacob Javits, on issues pertaining to the Jewish community. He felt incredibly passionately about Jewish institutions and community, and invested his time, energy, and enthusiasm in them. Although Sharon was not old enough to get to know her grandfather, we both got the benefit of hearing amazing stories told around the holiday table by Sharon's grandmother Lulu and Sharon's father. My personal favorite involves Benjamin Bartel flying on Air Iran in the mid to late 70s and getting into an audible argument with a flight attendant because he insisted on being served a kosher meal. This episode provides great insight into both his personality and the pride he felt in being Jewish. We hope that Benjamin follows in his namesake, feeling connected to the Jewish people, its institutions, and its traditions. Thelma Strong was an incredibly strong woman. She She overcame several bouts of cancer, the early death of my grandfather, and shortly after that tragedy, my mom's terrible accident, which left her in a coma for several weeks. Despite all that, she was heavily active in the community. As my maternal grandmother, she's technically responsible for me being Jewish, but her contribution to my Jewish identity went far beyond biology. She imbued my mom with a love for the Jewish religion, which found its way to me and profoundly influenced my life. Besides the great apple cakes during Pesach and reminding me always to write thank you notes, her other greatest contribution to my life was insisting that I go to sleepaway camp when I was 10, which I was originally dead set against, but led to 7 of the best summers of my life before my camp closed down. We hope that Benjamin shares Thelma's love for the Jewish people and their traditions. Finally, a quick word of Torah before we eat. This week's parsha contains the famous scene where Moshe goes up on the mountain to look over the promised land and is told, for reasons that have sparked debates for centuries, that he will not get to enter it himself. Rather than feeling sorry for himself, his immediate response and concern is that his successor would be appointed, so the children of Israel not go on like a flock of sheep without a shepherd. While instructions for succession procedures are given nearly immediately, what follows initially appears to be unrelated to Moshe's situation and concerns. What follows is a list of instructions for the sacrifices that need to be made on a daily, weekly, and monthly basis, followed by the sacrifices to be made at major holidays: Pesach, Shavuos, Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur, Sukkot, and Shemitah Atzeret. I saw that a couple of my colleagues from my office were able to make it here this morning. They probably recognize some of these names from my out-of-office messages. These portions of the Torah are familiar as they are part of the Musaf davening and are read on the aforementioned holidays. It struck me that this juxtaposition is, like everything else in the Torah, intentional. It teaches us that if we were to have our children, our successors, continue the work and traditions we have engaged in during our lifetime, we must fill our children's lives with these rituals and events, and repeat them again and again until they become positive memories and stay with them, and influence them long after we leave their lives. It is our hope that our family will be able to celebrate these rituals, referenced in this week's Torah portion, and the holidays they relate to, as a family, joyously and meaningfully, in good health, and that the memories we create by doing so will serve as important influence and guides to Miles, Mia, and Benjamin for the rest of their lives. Thanks again for coming. Please join us across the street for breakfast.